Welcome to Reinventing Broadcast, where AI meets content. Hosted by Ben Anker. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the podcast, and today we're diving into episode 13. And honestly, it feels like everything's accelerating at breakneck speed.
Hello, Ben. It's great to be back. I can sense the energy already. You've been incredibly busy since completing your Berkeley Exec Ed course. There's a palpable excitement in your voice.
You know what, Rihanna? There really is. I think what we're experiencing right now is what I'd call post-course momentum. That powerful wave you ride when theory finally meets execution, and the past few weeks have been absolutely electric. Let's start with the big news. I passed the Berkeley AI Strategy and Business Applications course, and I'm genuinely thrilled with the feedback I received.
Congratulations. Your Capstone project focused on AI-enhanced broadcast scheduling, didn't it? That's such a perfect intersection of your broadcast background and AI strategy learning.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Vinay, one of the instructors, gave me absolutely glowing feedback. He said, "Fantastic job choosing the right metrics and thinking through which metrics should be used and how. The experimentation design was well thought out. The presentation used visuals and illustrations to make it easy to follow and more attractive. The project looked at how AI could integrate external signals, what's trending, breaking news, even social media sentiment, to dynamically optimize broadcast schedules."
That's fascinating because it addresses one of broadcasting's core challenges, the tension between planned content and reactive programming. How did you approach the strategic framework?
We're talking about potentially significant revenue optimization through better audience targeting and advertising placement.
What struck me about your approach throughout the course was how you consistently grounded abstract AI concepts in broadcast realities. Did that practical perspective resonate with your instructors?
So Vinay's feedback mentioned that my capstone demonstrated exceptional practical application of strategic AI principles. But you know what? The real validation isn't just the grade, it's what's happened since, because theory without execution is just expensive education. Which brings me to my first major post-course milestone. I've deployed my very first AI voice agent, and it's live on my website right now.
This is huge. You've been talking about voice agents throughout the course. Tell me about the technical implementation.
It's running on ElevenLabs v2.5 model, and here's the twist. It's my own cloned voice. I've literally been talking to myself for a week, and it's been both hilarious and genuinely useful for testing conversational flows.
That's brilliant. How does it feel to interact with an AI version of yourself?
Honestly, it's surreal, but incredibly insightful. You start to notice your own speech patterns, your natural pacing, even your tendency to use certain phrases. It's like having a conversation with a mirror that can think independently. The technology is remarkable. The voice quality is so natural that visitors to my website often don't realize they're talking to an AI until several exchanges in.
And you're already looking ahead to ElevenLabs V3 model, aren't you?
The V3 model looks incredible. They're promising control the emotion, delivery, and direction with audio tags, plus controllable, expressive speech, layered with emotion, audio events, and immersive soundscapes. I mean, we're talking about AI voices that can convey genuine emotion, incorporate environmental sounds, and adapt their delivery style in real time. With it rolled out to professional voice cloning, this will be revolutionary for broadcasting applications.
How are you thinking about scaling this? Is this just a website feature or part of a broader strategy?
It's definitely part of a broader strategy. The website deployment is my proof of concept, but I'm already envisioning applications in broadcast environments, within continuity that adapts to content mood, say promo branding that shifts based on audience demographics, even interactive podcast experiences where listeners can have direct conversations with show hosts. But here's where it gets really interesting. The networking and collaboration opportunities that have emerged.
You mentioned reconnecting with your London coursemate. How's that developing?
It's been fantastic. We've met up again to explore possibilities around productizing, some of the concepts we developed during the course. There's something powerful about having someone who's been through the same intensive learning experience. We can skip the foundational conversations and dive straight into strategic implementation.
And you attended the AWS Symposium in London recently. How was that?
Well, the UK General Manager did a deep dive into Bedrock and Nova, and I was particularly interested in the Media Operations Centre use cases demo they presented. An industry colleague also demonstrated AWS's new C2FA security certificate solution, which has some interesting implications for secure media workflows. AWS is clearly positioning itself as the infrastructure backbone for AI-driven media implementations.
What stood out most from your perspective?
The scalability discussions were eye-opening, but what really got me excited was the networking aspect. I connected with about half a dozen AI-focused contacts who were absolutely invaluable.
And that networking is already paying dividends, isn't it?
It must be, as I've already had my first AI consultancy inquiry land this week. There are contacts looking at opportunities in September, and with my connections in the Bay Area, I've got access to some serious technical expertise for the heavier tech implementations. It's proof that momentum builds when you commit fully to a direction. Speaking of commitment, I've been expanding my technical toolkit recently.
You mentioned N8N. That's workflow automation, right?
Exactly. I've just lifted the lid on N8N to start rolling out AI agents. It's a powerful platform for creating automated workflows that can integrate multiple AI services, APIs, and data sources. I'm planning to workshop this with my London coursemate next week. When thinking about broadcast operations, I prefer to call this artificial augmentation rather than AI, because what we're really talking about is human-in-the-loop tools that make current staff perform better.
That's a really important distinction. Artificial augmentation rather than replacement. How does that change the conversation with broadcast professionals?
It certainly does. When you frame it as augmentation, suddenly the conversation shifts from "this will replace me" to "this will make me more effective." A content scheduler using artificially augmented tools can process more complex scheduling scenarios, make more informed decisions with enhanced data insights, and catch potential issues before they become problems. The human expertise remains central. The artificial augmentation just amplifies their capabilities.
And you're also exploring Framer for web development.
Framer is fascinating because it's positioning itself as a platform for AI-native web applications. I'm weighing up whether to use it for my own projects, but the broader implications are interesting. We're moving toward a world where web applications are built with AI-first principles, rather than having AI bolted on as an afterthought. There's also an international dimension developing. I'm planning to meet another coursemate in Berlin, and interestingly, she's been testing my voice agent in German.
That's fascinating. How's it performing across languages?
It's working remarkably well. It formed and spoke the language fine, just my voice is not mother tongue. We'll be discussing what we're both working on, industry news, upcoming events, and potential collaboration opportunities.
It sounds like you're building a global network of AI-focused professionals.
Of course, and I think that's one of the unexpected benefits of the Berkeley course. It's not just the education, it's the network of like-minded professionals who are all at similar stages of their AI journey. We're creating a community of practice that extends far beyond the formal course structure. Looking ahead, I'm trying to balance multiple streams of development.
How are you thinking about prioritization? There seems to be a lot of opportunities emerging simultaneously.
That's the challenge. I'm using a framework that combines immediate revenue potential with long-term strategic value. The consultancy inquiries obviously take priority because they generate immediate income and provide real-world case studies.
What about the broadcast media focus? Are you maintaining that specialization?
Absolutely. I think there's huge value in being the AI expert who truly understands broadcast operations. Most AI consultants come from tech backgrounds and don't really grasp the nuances of broadcast workflows. Conversely, most broadcast professionals are still intimidated by AI implementation. I'm positioned right in that sweet spot.
How are you thinking about scaling your impact?
I'm exploring multiple models, direct consulting for immediate projects, but also thinking about productized solutions. Perhaps AI agents specifically designed for broadcast operations, or training programs that help broadcast professionals implement AI strategically. The voice agent on my website is really a proof of concept for more sophisticated applications. You know, Rihanna, one of the most interesting aspects of this post-course period is how quickly things accelerate once you start taking action.
What do you mean by that?
During the course, everything felt theoretical. We were learning frameworks, studying case studies, discussing possibilities. But the moment you deploy something real, like my voice agent, suddenly everything becomes concrete. People can interact with it, provide feedback, suggest improvements. It shifts from what if to what's next.
And that changes the nature of conversations you're having?
Completely. Instead of explaining what AI could do, I'm showing what it actually does. Instead of theoretical discussions about voice agents, people are having conversations with mine. It's transformative from a credibility perspective.
What advice would you give to someone who's completed similar training but hasn't yet taken the implementation step?
Start small, but start now. Don't wait for the perfect project or the perfect moment. My voice agent isn't perfect. There are improvements I want to make, additional features I want to add. But it's live, it's functional, and it's generating real feedback. That's infinitely more valuable than a perfect solution that never gets deployed. As we wrap up today's episode, I'm genuinely excited about what's ahead.
What are you most looking forward to in the coming weeks?
The N8N workshop with my London course mate next week is going to be fantastic. We're going to dive deep into multi-agent workflows and see how far we can push the automation envelope. I'm also excited about the opportunities that are starting to crystallise. There might be some significant projects on the horizon.
And longer term?
I think we're entering a period where AI implementation becomes less about the technology and more about the strategic application. The tools are becoming more accessible, the models are becoming more capable, but the real differentiator is understanding how to apply them effectively in specific industry contexts. That's where the real value lies.
Before we finish, what's your key takeaway from this post-course momentum phase?
Action creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunities. The Berkeley course gave me the framework and confidence, but it's the implementation steps that have generated real business opportunities. Learning without application is just expensive entertainment. That's episode 13 of the podcast. If you're on a similar AI journey, I'd love to hear about your experiences. You can find me at ancast.tv, and yes, you can now have a conversation with my AI voice agent there too.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Ben, it's been fascinating to follow your journey from Berkeley student to AI implementer. The pace of change is remarkable.
It really is, Rihanna. And I have a feeling we're just getting started. Until next time, keep exploring, keep implementing, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Thanks for listening to Reinventing Broadcast. Subscribe for more on AI content and the future of media. And visit ancast.tv for more info on Ben himself, the resources, other content, and news.